Hello everyone. Today I'm going to be doing a review on the Alec Nicaraguan Reserva. So come along for this wonderful little cigar. It's becoming one of my favorites for a short smoke, a breakfast smoke. See what you think. So it's been a minute since I've done a cigar review because I've been working on so many other types of videos, some requests, some things that I just had in the works that I was really wanting to get out, and I've missed doing the reviews, and I've got quite a few to do. This one came about kind of by accident. We tend to order a bulk order of cigars, and it's usually ones that are on sale, some of what we like, some new ones. And this particular Alec Bradley was a newer one. We've had the Tempest, which is, this is very similar to. Alec Bradley has quite a few that I really like. The Black Market, the Filthy Hooligan, the Coil, the Max, that's a good one. The Pensado, so quite a few that I love from Alec Bradley. And we hadn't had this one, and I thought, it'll probably be just some cheapie, it's kind of light. Not going to have a lot of flavor. Boy, was I wrong. I must say, I apologize for the way my truck looks. It looks a little messy back in the bed. I believe I will be getting into a different truck here in less than 2 weeks. So I'm kind of starting to pack this one up and get ready for a change. So I might even do a video on that when I get into that other truck. On the dry draw of this Reserva, I get quite a bit of cedar, some earthy notes, maybe even a little floral, a little daisy. This particular cigar is a Robusto. It's 5x50 ring gauge. The wrapper is Nicaraguan, as the name would suggest, as is the filler. The binder is Honduran. I did see a couple pages that had some discrepancy about that. So if you know that to be untrue, let me know. Most of what I found showed Honduran binder and Nicaraguan wrapper and fillers. It is similar, like I said, to the Tempest, but the Tempest is a Puro, so it is all Nicaraguan, and it's a little bit darker, oddly enough, than this one. Alright, so on the dry draw, after cutting the cap here, I do get cedar, I get a little graham cracker, and I get, I'm going to say some baking notes, some baking spice notes. Perhaps a little cinnamon. I'm thinking more cloves though. And I'm going to say it's actually a little bit floral just at the end. So let's light this puppy up and see what it actually ends up being like. Wow, you guys, so the very first puff I take on this does have that graham cracker note, and the cloves really come through strong. Those are the two things that I'm noticing immediately on this. Usually with a lot of cigars, let me rephrase this. I think I have a fairly well-established palate in the flavor notes that I can pick up. I would say that I'm always going to be learning. I'm definitely not as nuanced as some people can be. You read or watch some reviews and they're talking about all these kind of notes that you're like, what is that even? And so a lot of cigars, the first, couple of draws you take on it after lighting, tastes like a cigar. Does that make sense? It just tastes like a cigar. And then the flavor profiles start coming through and developing. This one, the first draw. The second draw, even better. After I've let it kind of settle just a minute and warm up, that graham cracker is really at the forefront of this cigar. So far, it's got a nice even burn. Lovely little ash. It's kind of it's a slightly toothy wrapper. I think I discussed a toothy wrapper wrapper, what that is, in another review. But when you see a wrapper that's got all these little tiny hard bumps all over it, that's what they refer to as a toothy wrapper. I just stopped for lunch, and this cigar is quite nice after that. It's just like a little dessert cigar. I would actually, as of right now, say that this cigar would be really good in the morning with some coffee. If you're a breakfast time smoker, this is really lovely because it is medium bodied. It's not, it's no doormat to your taste buds by any means, but it's mild to me. They list it as medium, but it's very friendly, as I say. You've heard me use that term before. It's not presumptuous. It's not overbearing. It's very smooth. The retrohale, that cinnamon comes forth. The cloves come forth. So as of right now, I get the graham cracker on the draw, a little bit of the cloves. On the retrohale, I get more of the spices, a little hint of the floral, and on my roof rub, on my tongue rub, I absolutely get the floral. And guys, I'm sorry, I can't tell you what flower. It's a chrysanthemum, you guys. You're gonna smoke this and take. I'm kidding. It's not. I would just say floral overall. It's that light, delicate, kind of fresh scent and taste that comes through, and I would label that as floral for my palate. The retrohale is very nice, very smooth, no burn in the nose, no overbearing pepper. I'm really liking this cigar. This cigar typically lists for the high $8s, $9 range. I think the one site was $8.75. So it's not the cheapest cigar, but it's still very affordable. If it's one you like, then it's absolutely well worth it. At this point, I would say it's absolutely one you need to try. I tend to like darker, very complex, full-bodied cigars. And this thing has enough flavor to it that I'm really liking it. Okay, so I'm getting into the halfway mark of this cigar. I have not tapped it one time. Look at that ash, you guys. Look at that even burn. Look at that. Beautiful. Nice and tight. I am going to go ahead and tap it so that I don't risk getting ash all in my truck. But I wanted to show that to you because if a cigar can stand being here in the truck between the roughness, the hard bumps we go over, and the extra wind pull that it gets from the window being open, it's a good cigar. It really is. So there we go. Just tapped it for the first time. Really well constructed cigar here. The flavor is still, the graham cracker is still there. It's starting to go a little less. It's starting to go by the wayside. I definitely still get a little cinnamon. I get the cloves. I go with cloves on the actual draw itself now. The retrohale still has that nice sweet spice, no pepper. Oddly enough, on the retrohale, I do start getting graham cracker. It's starting to swap. I think that's a little odd. And on the roof rub, I'm getting the floral. The floral is still there on the roof rub. It's very faint, very light, but if you do the roof rub, and again, if you don't know what that is, it's my own little tasting thing I've come up with. Take your tongue, rub it over the roof of your mouth after you retrohale. Give it a breath or two, and then rub your tongue over the roof of your mouth. You're going to get a lot more flavor coming through, just like you do on the retrohale. Yeah, the spice is definitely there on the retrohale now, but really lovely. It still doesn't burn your nose. If you have started smoking cigars and you've been sticking with Connecticut's, this, guys, might be one for you to try. This one might be definitely a good one as a step up. I would absolutely recommend it to somebody who's wanting to go another level up. It gives you that opportunity to taste a more complex cigar without overdoing it. It's not overpowering. Beautiful cigar so far. And I've been smoking it now about a half hour. What time did I leave? Yeah, about a half hour. I don't expect this cigar to last a long, long time. It's only 5 inches long, and it's only a 50 ring gauge. So it is a smaller cigar, but again, it's hanging in there. If you wanted to be able to smoke half of it and then cut the burnt end and smoke the other half at a later time that day, you could do so. But at the same time, if you want to just sit down for 45 minutes to an hour, it's going to give you a good smoke, no matter what. Some of it depends on how fast you smoke it. I don't know if we've discussed that before, too. When you're smoking a cigar, you should, in theory, take a puff roughly every 15-20 seconds. Now, some cigars are really well constructed. They hold the heat in well, and you might take one puff a minute. I've had several like that. If you're puffing too fast, if you're just constantly drawing and inhaling, it gets almost too hot, and you can get things called a punta de lanza, which is like the point of the lance, and it looks very sharp. It torpedoes up on the foot. The ash is not able to burn and dry, as I call it, quick enough to be able to fall off. So there's that. It might canoe. You also can see cigars that will canoe where only half the foot starts burning, and yet you still have the underneath of the leaf. Some of this also can result from not turning the cigar as you smoke it. So I'm a big fan of every time I smoke it, I like to turn it just a little. It's like turning the dial. Again, the way a cigar lasts is very much dependent on its construction, but also the way you smoke it. When I draw in, I don't want to draw fast either. I want to do a nice, long, slow draw. I want to make sure that the heat is going through the cigar evenly and not injecting itself too fast into any part, if that makes sense. Lovely cigar. I'm going to check back in with you as I get toward the end. Alright, so I am getting toward the end. I've already moved the band down toward the cap once already, and as the ash gets a little closer, I'll actually take the band off. I've been smoking this now, let's see, I am just south of Lexington, Kentucky right now. So I've been smoking this about a solid hour, maybe even a little over it. So I'm pretty impressed. This is the little cigar that could, you know, it's a little cigar with a big heart. The flavors are very interesting. They're very consistent. However, they've kind of changed up where they come on. When I draw on it, I immediately get the sweet spices. I get, again, what I would call baking soda. It might be the tobacco version of the spices, I will say. It's very nice. On the retrohale, I get some of that floral, and then it's on the roof rub that I get the graham cracker. Kind of crazy, isn't it? I've only knocked off the ash one more time on this cigar. This thing is held up really well in here. I gotta say, you need to try it. Nice little cigar. I will let you know that in some future videos, I have been given a request for 2 different cigars. I will be putting those out once I get my hands on them. And I also had a subscriber request that I do a video on the best affordable or economy cigars, as we might say. So I'm going to pick out, I've already got a couple in mind, but I'm going to pick out about 4 or 5 cigars that really do fit a good budget, and they're going to be all